Lieutenant Commander Walter Francis Fitzpatrick III, a 25-year Navy veteran whose captain had described him in 1989 as a brilliant naval officer who performed magnificently as executive officer, the ship's success is a tribute to his skill, tenacity, and leadership, has been exposing corruption in eastern Tennessee for the last 3 years, which can now be traced to the U.S. Department of Justice and ultimately Barack Obama. On April 1st, 2010, after attempting to perform a citizen's arrest of the Monroe County, Tennessee grand jury foreman for over-serving his term of office, Fitzpatrick himself was ordered arrested and jailed for 5 days. A native of California and new to Tennessee, Fitzpatrick was to learn that in Monroe County and throughout the state, arrests of citizens were routinely carried out illegally without due process. In some cases, prisoners are held for months or even years without a trial. Fitzpatrick refused food and water during the 5 days he spent in jail. An arraignment hearing was set for April 20th. Several of those present during the citizen's arrest, members of the community and even those living at considerable distances who had learned about Fitzpatrick's detention, came to observe the court proceedings. When they arrived, they were prevented from entering the courtroom by sheriff's deputies armed with semi-automatic weapons. The mainstream media had falsely characterized Fitzpatrick as a militia leader who had encouraged others to descend upon Madisonville to carry out violent acts. One of the people who had taken video footage of the citizen's arrest on April 1st, Darren Huff, had traveled from his home in Georgia to lend moral support to Fitzpatrick on the 20th. Also a veteran of the U.S. Navy, the mainstream media had also named Huff a violent right-wing extremist who had announced plans to take over the courthouse that day, including interfering with Fitzpatrick's trial, even though no trial had been scheduled. On the evening of April 19th, Huff was visited and questioned by the FBI regarding his plans for the next day. Huff is told to post an email that he assured the FBI agents that his intentions were to peacefully observe Fitzpatrick's hearing while standing up against government corruption. Huff informed the FBI that he planned on taking his guns with him, for which he held valid permits to carry and travel across state lines. The FBI allowed Huff to proceed with his plans to attend the hearing. On the morning of April 20th, Huff was stopped on the way to the Monroe County Courthouse by members of the Tennessee Highway Patrol for allegedly going through a stop sign, something an eyewitness denies. Huff spoke respectfully with the officers, showed them his guns, and answered their questions. One officer suggested to Huff that he lock up his guns upon arriving in Madisonville, to which Huff responded by locking them in the toolbox attached to the back of his truck as the officer watched. Had he not done so, he might not be alive today. Upon arriving in Madisonville, Huff and his companion were met with approximately 100 law enforcement officers, consisting of local police, FBI and TBI agents, a SWAT team, Tennessee Highway Patrol, and a sniper team positioned on the roof of the courthouse. Schools had been closed. Huff's vehicle was surrounded by a bomb-sniffing dog, a drug-sniffing dog, and police officers. Had he exited his vehicle with a firearm in his hand in preparation to secure it in the toolbox, he most likely would have been shot dead. The police dogs found no illegal substances in or around Huff's vehicle. As with other visitors that day, Huff was precluded from entering the courthouse and went to a nearby restaurant to have lunch. He traveled home uneventfully afterward. 10 days later, however, Darren Huff was arrested on a federal firearms charge and is today serving a 4-year prison sentence for something that never happened.